Let's turn to rising prices and inflation, something that everybody is dealing with here and in other countries. Your answer to why, in the main, this is happening in America, and when Republicans say reducing government spending or there are other sort of pre-existing policies will naturally bring down prices, your analysis of that as people do decide what to do tomorrow.
Okay, it is really important to understand that a large part of the inflation that we're seeing is not a U.S. thing. I mean, the inflation is actually slightly higher in Europe than it is in the United States. Now, there are special reasons. They're more dependent on Russian natural gas, or were more dependent. But even so, the fact of the matter is, and the part that hurts, the price increases that are running ahead of wages are very largely determined by global energy prices, things that are really outside the control of any U.S. president. So you don't want to, say inflation is a domestic issue. It's largely a global issue, but sure, some of it, the U.S., we can talk about errors, maybe there was excessive stimulus. The Federal Reserve, which is not the Biden administration, it's an independent policymaker, got behind the curve, as did I. A lot of us didn't really see this coming. But the thing is, I actually look at the inflation issue and say that the policies to bring it back down are in place. And it has very little to do now with Congress or the president. It's the Federal Reserve. It's those interest rate hikes are already taking a toll. A lot of measures of underlying inflation are coming down already. So this really shouldn't be, it will be, but it shouldn't be a campaign issue, because if inflation is going to be controlled, it's going to be Jay Powell at the Federal Reserve that does it, not Congress or the president. And
your view then is that some of the domestic spending may have contributed partly to it, but it's not, in your view, the driving factor, and that's sort of done or baked in?
Yeah, we might have, inflation might be as much as, it's sort of an upper limit, 2 percentage points lower if we had less government spending. There would have been a lot of other negative consequences we wouldn't have liked if we hadn't spent as much money. But, it's just not, and the point, and also, this old line, you don't have to fill a tire through the hole. The fact that we had some big spending early in the Biden administration for what seemed, I think actually were good reasons at the time, the fact that helped cause inflation to rise doesn't mean that slashing spending, that spending is in the past. It's in the rearview mirror already. That doesn't mean that further spending cuts beyond what's already agreed to, already in the pipeline, are what you have to do to control inflation. This is mostly, again, it's a technocratic problem. No one will believe it, but getting inflation under control is some people in suits sitting around the table at the Federal Reserve. It's not going to be something that's decided by political slogans.
Right. By technocratic, you're reminding people that the way this works under government law, it's not just easily changeable. The lever is not in the room where most of the Congress people are, so to speak. You also said, fill the tire through a hole? I feel like you and Carville have been teaching me new terms. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have a flat tire, you don't have to refill it through, you patch the hole, but you don't have to refill it by pushing air back where it came in. So, the fact that arguably some of our inflation is a result of the American Rescue Plan, which was a big package of government spending in early 2021. It's now a year and a half in the past. The fact that may have contributed to inflation doesn't mean that small government is the answer to reducing inflation. There are lots of other things that we can do and are doing.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber. Thanks for watching The Beat. I wanted to let you know I'm writing a foreword to the January 6th committee's full report, which is coming out soon from HarperCollins. You can go pre-order the book right now, and it'll come to you first when the report comes out in the fall or whenever the government releases it. Just search Melber Jan 6th on Amazon or your favorite independent book site and click pre-order. You'll be the first to get both the report and my new piece on the coup conspiracy. You can also go to melberbook.com and order it there.